Ever wondered about the impact of international students in Canada? What if we told you it's more profound than you think? International students bring a myriad of benefits to Canada, enriching the country's economy, cultural diversity, and academic landscape. Let's delve into these contributions a little deeper, shall we? Firstly, international students significantly boost Canada's economy. They contribute billions of dollars annually through tuition fees, accommodation, and other living expenses. This influx of capital supports local businesses, creates jobs, and stimulates economic growth. But the impact of international students extends beyond the economy. They greatly enrich the cultural fabric of Canada, bringing with them a wealth of diverse traditions, languages, and perspectives. This cultural diversity fosters a cosmopolitan atmosphere on campuses, in classrooms, and across cities, making Canada a vibrant and dynamic place to live and study. In the academic realm, international students contribute to the high quality of education. They bring fresh ideas, stimulate intellectual debate, and enhance research capacity. Moreover, some of Canada's most notable figures were once international students themselves. These former students have made substantial contributions in various fields, from science and technology to arts and culture, further highlighting the immense value international students bring to Canada. However, it's not all rosy. The presence of international students has also led to concerns about housing affordability, particularly in cities with a high student population. This has sparked a debate about the sustainable growth of international students in Canada. But recently there's been a major shift in this landscape. Let's delve into this new development. In a surprising move, the Canadian government recently announced a cap on the number of student permits. This change is a part of a broader effort to target what the government calls bad actors in the institutional sector, and to address concerns about the impact of international students on the housing market. Diving into the specifics, the government plans to approve approximately 360,000 undergraduate study permits for 2024. This number represents a significant 35% reduction from the previous year. The permits will be allocated among the provinces and territories based on their respective populations. The areas that have experienced the most unsustainable growth in their international student populations will see the most substantial decreases. In tandem with this reduction, the government will be introducing a new requirement. International students will now need to provide an attestation letter from a province or territory when applying for a study permit. This requirement is seen as an additional measure to ensure the quality of education and support that the students will receive. Moreover, changes are also coming to the post-graduation work permit program. These include the exclusion of students in curriculum licensing arrangements from eligibility and the introduction of a 3-year work permit for graduates of master's and other short graduate level programs. Encouragingly, open work permits will be available for spouses of international students in master's and doctoral programs. These alterations are not permanent, though. The cap will be in place for 2 years, and the number of permits issued in 2025 will be reassessed. The government's actions are aimed at addressing concerns about small private colleges, fake business degrees, and the availability of affordable housing. The changes may also raise concerns about public funding for universities and colleges. It's important to note that these initiatives are not without their critics. The Conservative Party and NDP have criticized the federal government's handling of the situation, with the NDP warning that the cap may punish talented students. On the other hand, Ontario and Nova Scotia have expressed support for cracking down on predatory recruitment and ensuring that students receive education responsive to labor needs. These changes have stirred up a variety of reactions. Let's explore what these could mean. While the government's intentions are to ensure quality education and support, these changes could have significant negative impacts. Let's delve into the potential downsides of these new restrictions. One of the major concerns is the impact on public funding for universities and colleges. International students often pay higher fees than domestic students, and these funds can substantially contribute to the financial health of educational institutions. A significant reduction in the number of international students could lead to a decrease in revenue, potentially impacting the quality of education and resources available to all students. Moreover, the cap on student permits might inadvertently punish talented students who aspire to study in Canada. The new restrictions could limit the opportunities for these bright minds to contribute to the Canadian academic community and beyond. This might not only affect the students, but also the innovation and development that they could bring into the country. Political parties, including the Conservative Party and the New Democratic Party, have voiced criticism over the government's handling of the situation. The NDP, for instance, warned that the cap may punish talented students, echoing the sentiments of many who believe that this approach might be too broad and could end up hurting those it is intended to protect. The new restrictions also bring up concerns about the availability of affordable housing. While the government hopes that the reduction in international students will alleviate some pressure on housing markets, it's important to remember that students are not the only factor affecting housing availability and prices. Addressing the housing crisis requires a comprehensive approach that goes beyond limiting the number of international students. In the midst of these potential negative impacts, it's crucial to remember that these changes are intended to target bad actors in the institutional sector and improve the quality of education for international students. It's a complex issue that requires a careful balance between maintaining the integrity of educational institutions and ensuring opportunities for international students. But it's not all gloom and doom. There could be some silver linings to these changes. While the restrictions might seem harsh, they could also lead to some positive outcomes. Let's take a closer look at these potential benefits. Firstly, the restrictions aim to alleviate pressure on housing markets in cities with high numbers of students. This is a crucial step, as the influx of international students can significantly impact rental availability and home ownership. By introducing a cap on the number of student permits, the government is looking to balance the needs of international students and local communities. Secondly, the changes are targeted at cracking down on predatory recruitment. By reducing the number of permits, the government hopes to eliminate the so-called bad actors in the institutional sector. This means that the efforts are focused on ensuring that future students receive quality education and support, rather than falling prey to institutions offering fake business degrees or serving as diploma mills. Lastly, the new restrictions are designed to ensure that the education received by international students is responsive to labor needs. This could lead to a more streamlined and practical education system that truly prepares students for the workforce. The introduction of a 3-year work permit for graduates of master's and other short graduate-level programs is a clear example of this focus. However, it's important to remember that these are potential benefits. The real-world impacts of the restrictions will depend on a variety of factors, including how they are implemented and how institutions and students adapt to the changes. For example, the reduction in the number of permits could potentially lead to a decrease in public funding for universities and colleges, which could have its own set of consequences. As with any major change, the impact of these new restrictions will unfold over time. It's crucial to keep an eye on this evolving situation. So what does all this mean for the future of international students in Canada? In essence, the new restrictions aim to regulate the influx of international students, address the housing market concerns, and ensure the quality of education. While these measures might pose challenges, particularly for certain provinces and students, they also present opportunities for enhanced quality assurance in education. It's crucial to keep a close eye on these changes and their impacts. One thing is certain, the landscape of international education in Canada is changing, and it's a journey we're all a part of.